Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the review. This time is of Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 3. So, let's get started. I am a casual Jason fan. I know and I thought that I've watched all the Jason movies, but that's not true. I actually only watched Jason from 5 to all the next stuff that went on. And then I had to go back and watch the other stuff, realizing I don't remember that stuff as a kid. That's crazy. But anyway, this is Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3. And we're going to go. One of the things I recognize in part 3 is that Jason didn't get, at least in my opinion, Jason didn't get really cool until at least part 6 and 7. But 3 actually had a lot of great kills and a lot of tools being used as well. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed. And that's one of the things that's actually pretty much included in this. There are very few gripes that I have with this figure. I think one of the main problems is that the clothing looks a little too new, considering Jason kind of doesn't wash or clean clothes. But that's why I'm going to get an extra one. I'm going to like batter it up. I'm going to make it look weathered. Definitely have that look. But overall, I think what was included with Jason is actually a really good look for the figure itself. Unfortunately, I don't have the NECA to do a comparison with that. So, but I do have other cool stuff. So, yeah. First things first, let's talk about the hockey mask. It's really nice. It is really, really nice. It's not crazy detailed, but it does have that one weathering look. I'm pretty sure you can't see it, but I'm hoping my camera picks it up, is that there's yellowing here in the center of the mask in certain pivotal parts. The nice paint job that's done. And then underneath, as you take off the mask, you have Jason's face, and it looks horrific. It's bloated. There's an ear missing. It's just really, really nice and horrific, the Jason face. I really love this. It's an excellent look for the Jason. Well, obviously not if you're Jason, it's not a good look. But it is a great look for the horror character. So I'm going to put the hockey mask back on. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to go back to that in a second. As you can see, it just places right over the head really well. Now we're going to talk about the articulation. So the head can look up, and I don't know if you guys can see it very well. He has the bloated neck and the bloated chest. He has like the slouched shoulders. These are the kind of things I'm actually liking a lot with the character, that you can see the difference between him and that of a normal Mezco, which is like more of a superhero body and things like that. So you get to see the more horror-like body. It very much resembles him very well. I like the look of that. The shirt looks like it doesn't fit well. Like it's like a hunch because of that. So these are all things, like little things that I think that actually went into it with some nice detail, at least thought about. And I like that a lot. Next up, we have the ab crunch, which actually rotates forward. Not a whole crazy lot, but enough that you can get him to hunch over a little bit more. As you can see here, it stands straight up, but it actually can hunch over a little bit. You can turn side to side very easily with no issues. Then there's also a little bit of bottom swivel, which gives you that extra bit of range as well. As far as the legs can go up this high. They are double jointed, which looks really good. It gives you a flat knee across. It has a nice cross. There's a very generous ankle pivot on the figure as well. Nice big boots so the feet don't look too small. The arm articulation is very nice. Rotates up. Arms are indeed double jointed. Actually, wait. Yep, indeed double jointed. Just wanted to double check that. There's bicep swivel as well. There's a nice rotation of the joint here. So overall, Jason has the look. He has the articulation. So you can pretty much do both human and inhuman-like maneuvers with him. So let's say you wanted to get that devastating walk with him, where it kind of looked like he's just hunting you down relentlessly. I've pretty much nailed it very easily with him. And I like that. I like that you could just get into the look of the Starking look. One thing that I'm pretty sure he's not going to be is as big as the NECA one, considering the NECA one is 7-inch scale and he looks gigantic and imposing. But considering most Mezcos are bigger than most other figures that you have or in scale with Legends, I think it actually works out really, really well. But I think that as far as articulation-wise and the look on this Jason, you actually have a lot going for you. So let's move Jason back here. This nice, crazy, imposing stance. Make sure it's real nice. And I want to talk about the accessories and the other things that he comes with. So first thing to start off with is a bloody pitchfork. And one thing I want to say about the weapons is that they all come bloody with the exception of the harpoon gun and the wrench. But everything else comes bloody. So the pitchfork is very nice. It's nice. It's durable. It's soft plastic. So that way you don't have to worry about breaking it. I like that a lot. especially if you want to do figures on top of it where you're gonna like plowing through them or striking through them. So that's really cool. Then you have, I believe this is I forgot what this is called, but it's the iron for when you are the poking around of the fireplace. So this is really cool. It has a nice hook. It is bloodied from the midway point all the way down to the extension at the end. It has a handle for you, obviously, to grab. That's really nice. Then you have his signature machete, which Jason always has. This is bloodied from the front that it hacks through. And I'm actually going to put this in his hand so he can look good. So again, he can look more imposing now with his signature weapon. Next up, you have a bloody knife. You have a butcher's knife. All these look a tad bit weathered as well too, so that's pretty cool. Then you have the wrench. You want to beat somebody to a bloody pulp in a tool shed. We have the harpoon gun. And it's cocked back here. So this is all molded in, which is very nice, but it doesn't shoot out or release. So that part does suck. But overall, it's really nice to have. It'll look good in photos. Then you have the axe. So also blooded as well. And I like the touch of blood that is added to it. It's one of those things where it goes a little bit of the way, saves you some time of painting it yourself. So it's obviously really good. The other accessories that you get with are going to be the hands. This is the one hand you'll get when you want to hold the harpoon gun. One thing I like was they kind of give you the dirty hands in it. So Jason's hand looked like they've never actually seen a wash. And they look a little deformed as well. This is one of the grabbing hands, which you obviously use to like grab people or unknowing victims. Then there are more open, seemingly open, relaxed palms, but obviously Jason doesn't relax. Just walks around with his hands closed or open. One of the really cool things that you get with it, though, is the bloodied head. Open mouth. You see the terrible teeth. See the blood. You see the opening in the head. Now, for the opening in the head, you can actually place a few of the weapons in there. One of them can be the axe. So you can place the axe in his head, which is really dope. Or you can take the machete out and place the machete also in his head. Is it the machete? Yep. You can place the machete there. But it doesn't. Mine's is not lining up. Not as much as it was earlier. Oh, wait. I'm tripping. I'm actually tripping. So what you do is you actually put the bloody mask on as well. And as you can see, there's an opening in the mask. And you can place the blade in. Oop. I don't know why mine suddenly isn't working. It was placing in there earlier. And now it's not. Well, the axe and I believe, the axe goes in just fine. Actually, no, I'm tripping. It was the axe. So excuse my ignorance for the second. The axe goes in there, not the machete. So as you can see here, it goes on the bloody mask as well. One more thing that could fit in also happens to be the butcher knife. If you place it just well enough in the corner. So that's also pretty cool. So outside of the normal mask, you get the bloody mask and the bloodied face, which look really, really good. I like this Jason a lot. I'm hoping if we get this one that we will get other Jason figures. It would be really dope to get part 6 or part 7, which is some of my favorite ones, as well as Freddy versus Jason. Those are some of my favorites. Now, real quick, though, I'm going to stand them up as well as I possibly can so you can see the height on Jason compared with some other horror figures that I have, which isn't many. So there's characters like Michael Myers. And technically, this one is horror/comedy, which would be Ash from Evil Dead. And I know most people want their Jason to be gigantic and to be one of those things where he towers over these guys. I'm not even sure of Jason's height anymore because it's changed so much. But I like this height being it with other Mezco stuff, so it looks really good. Now I can do a crossover. All I need now is Freddy, and I can do a big horror crossover. Or I can do, Freddy versus Jason. So, real quick, let's compare them to some other lines so you guys can see what's going on. Want to compare them to a normal superhero like Mezco. So I have my Punisher right here. Oop, almost fell. So I have my Punisher, and my Punisher next to Jason. Jason is slightly bit taller because the helmet is a little big. So Jason's just a tad bit taller. But even without the superhero proportion, he can still look like he can go toe-to-toe with Punisher, which is pretty cool. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. So Jason is actually a tad bit bigger than a Marvel Legend. At least the normal Spider-Man body. And when you put him next to the larger bodies, Jason is completely on the smaller side when you compare it size-wise with a bigger Marvel Legend. Here he is next to one of the female Marvel Legends body. So you can see that she is smaller, but not by much. Next up, we have an SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Kuga, who looks tiny. So if you have any of those type of female characters, they will be exceptionally small. I don't have one of my Figma girls. So the Figma girls are actually really, really small. So if you wanted them to be more imposing with it and you wanted them to scare off like the traditional 80s girls trope, you can use a bunch of the Figma girls for that because they are actually smaller. But I will do pictures with them so you'll see it after. Next up, we have him next to a Mythic Legions. So you can see height-wise is much, much smaller than a Mythic Legion. Here he is with an Articulated Icons Ninja. For those of you that are going to crush over your stuff, do whatever it is you're going to do. And last but not least, a 1/12 scale synthetic human. If you want to really get out of control and do some Jason X stuff. So all in all, I like the Jason. It is a simple nod to the Jason stuff. Definitely want to get another one to bloody and dirty up, make it look cool. It was a nice nod. There are tons of great cool weapons to use. For those of you that are horror buffs, I feel like you would really like this as a change from the NECA stuff. Just to, you know, have something a little different. Not to say that it's better, but just to have something different. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. But most of all, I hope you guys do good, be good, drink your water. Later.